Hello, everyone. Sarah Pacaro, rapid transformational therapist, working with women and men too, to help go within and heal from past trauma, especially when you've been in toxic and unhealthy relationships. So today's topic and subject is why you end up in these toxic relationships as an adult. Well, one of the many reasons, there's always many because we're multidimensional, is because of the shared trauma facade. So what is this? It sounds like a big fancy name, but if you break it down, it's really quite simple. So shared means something in common, and trauma, obviously, is trauma, an experience that had you experience trauma. It is very, impactful in your life. And then facade is something that is fake. So a shared trauma facade means and has you feel that you and the narcissist understand, or toxic person, understand each other to the core. In the beginning, especially in the love bombing phase, you will feel that this person understands you to the core because they have experienced the same pain that you have. So in my personal experience with the last narcissist I was with, I experienced quite different pain and trauma than he had. His was very, very extreme. It included sexual childhood trauma, sexual abuse, physical abuse, the death of a parent. And I remember even on our second and third date, just sitting there listening to his stories going, oh my gosh, wow, and look at all the things that you've done. I can't believe that you've been through that. And although I've had past experiences of trauma, because everyone has. You do not make it through adulthood without scars. Everyone has their own trauma and experiences that has you leaving, feeling, and believing that you're not good enough, or that you want something it's not available to you. Maybe it's an emotional connection with somebody. Maybe it's that you will never amount to anything. You're simply not good enough, and you feel maybe just stuck in like a crappy dead-end job, and you don't have the skills or qualifications or whatever it is that you want, you believe is not available to you. Or you feel like you're different, and because you're different, nobody understands you. You don't fit in. You don't have really close friends. You have to be fake. You have to pretend in order to fit in. So there's lots of experiences that lead to, but this shared trauma facade is something that you connect with the narcissist with. They share their own personal stories of their trauma, and you connect to that same pain that they're experiencing, or that they're sharing with you, that they've experienced. So yeah, on the outside, the experiences themselves may be different, but they're both the ones that caused trauma, and this is what you connect with. And sometimes they even make up or exaggerate these sob stories on purpose to blow your guard into pieces. And I know that's exactly what my narcissistic ex did with me. It was like, oh, you think you've had it bad? Well, I went through this and this and this and this and this, and his entire laundry list, where I even felt worse for him. Everyone has experienced trauma. There are different levels of it, just like there are different levels of narcissism, and everyone is a trauma survivor. It's not just people who are in the military that have PTSD or CPTSD. And trauma survivors, as a trauma survivor, what you will notice is that you seek validation, you seek acceptance, you seek familiarity. So you connect with narcissists very easily because they are sharing their traumatic and painful experiences with you, and you connect that, and you want to give to them. You want to give them love, you give them empathy, you give them this understanding, this connection of like, oh my gosh, I feel for you, wow. And it's this connection that you have. So a narcissist will take advantage of this, creating a pain connection. So that's how you link up and you connect with someone that they are with. They trick you into believing that they understand your pain because they too have experienced their own pain. And so you start to feel like, wow, they really get me, they really understand me. They pretend to be caring, especially in the love bombing phase in the beginning, even later on when they, go back, because it's a cycle. So love bombing is not just in the beginning. It is in the later stages after the discard. Then they come back in the hoovering and the love bombing, where they pretend to be caring, they pretend to validate your experiences, they promise you that they will never let it happen again. I know how bad I hurt you. My ex used to call his dad a sperm donor, and he said, I freaking hated that sperm donor. I would never do that to you. I would never leave you the way that my dad left me. And so I truly, really thought, wow, of course, like he would never do that because he knows how bad it hurts. This is a part of that shared trauma facade. My pain was able to connect to his pain, and he created this facade that he would never hurt me like that, and made these promises that he would never ever be the source of my pain and never let it happen again, especially when I told him, oh my God, this hurt you, you just hurt me so badly. Like whatever the last blow up or argument was about, when I shared how hurt I was, or he saw me crying and he would just say, I will never do that again. I'm so sorry. Please, let's work on this. And then all the begging and let's go to counseling and therapy. They pretend to be paying attention and listening to you. They will even cry so that it feels authentic, but it's not. You guys, it's a facade. And in later stages in the relationship, they end up doing even more destruction by using those experiences against you. Anything that you open up and you become vulnerable with and you share with them, they later will use against you. So if we were traumatized, let's say for example, and pushed to get our parents' attention by sacrificing ourselves in childhood, well, no wonder we end up in a relationship with a narcissist later on, because the mind learns by repetition, and it will always take you towards what's familiar and avoid what's unfamiliar. It's one of the rules of the mind. It's the way the mind is designed and works. So this relationship with a narcissist becomes this way of reenacting the same sense of self-sacrifice that you had in childhood now is showing up in your adulthood and in this relationship with a narcissist. And the moment that we feel that they are in pain, we try to heal them the same way that we had to do with our parents when we were younger, when we had to sacrifice ourselves in order to help them heal. We have to give them love. We have to provide for them what we see they're missing. I saw that my ex was missing so much love because of all the trauma that he had experienced, and I felt like I'd fill in those love gaps for him. Guess what? It doesn't work like that with them. But we see what's missing and we try to fill it in, and eventually we completely break down. You become a shell of yourself because they will keep taking and taking and taking until you are left completely dry, completely empty. It's like you're trying to pour from that cup, and that's where we talk about getting that back, putting yourself first, not in a selfish way, but in a way that you can give, because otherwise they keep taking and taking and taking. They don't ever give back to you. They give back what they have to give, which is pain, heartache, suffering, all of those things. So that is what connects you with the narcissist, is that shared trauma facade. So in order to really, truly break free from that, heal from that, you have got to start giving to yourself what you were trying to give to them to heal them. And it's not selfish. It's, first of all, those are the most toxic relationships in the world. So as safely as you can, get out if you're still in, and understanding what connects you to that person in the first place is so extremely important. And then what you were trying to give to them is actually what you need yourself. And if that is where you're at along this journey, that is what I work with people and guide people into doing. So I'd love to talk to you about rapid transformational therapy, the steps that I take my clients through healing from within, and just understand that shared trauma facade. I'm sure that as you're listening to this, you can think of all of your own examples of why you ended up in a relationship with a narcissist when looking at it from that angle and perspective. So I hope this helps you along your journey to healing. Please reach out if you were looking for more ways to break through. Thank you, guys.